Okay, are you gonna do it? Are you gonna do the thing? Hello?
I thought you were walking in.
What do you mean? You said that you wanted to do it. You told me you wanted to do it.
But then you said no. That's not the ideal plan. I should do the thing, and then I follow up on you.
Well, no, but I mean,
it's like Kobe Bryant and Shaq, where you give me the layup, and then I gotta slam dunk it.
Hey, Justin, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, what's up? It's been a week of sorts.
It has been a week. So are you ready for the spoiler cast? I'm excited.
Wait, what do you mean spoiler cast?
Wait, what do you mean? What do I mean? It's a spoiler cast. It's just you and me this week. So,
I mean, yes. However, this was not supposed to happen this way. More importantly, when did we skip to a spoiler cast? It's not for like another 6 weeks or so.
Well, I mean, that's why I was confused. I mean, I remember Jordy texted me and said, yeah, we're going to do another spoiler cast this week. So he told me to bring all these spoiled goods. I got a bunch of milk, a bunch of rotten apples. For whatever reason, he was like, yeah, you need to bring a bunch of spoiled food. It's all for a bit later. Don't worry. So here I
want to say that Jordy pranked you, but I feel like I'm surely the victim here because spoiled milk.
Well, I mean, he just told, wait. So we're not. Wait, hold on. I've come back to Earth. So we're not doing a spoiler cast this week.
No.
Wait, what are we doing this week? I'm so confused.
We are doing the thing we should have done a couple days ago before Christian got punched in his throat, and then Devin just was Devin, which is discuss episodes 595 to 598.
Huh. I mean, okay. I mean, I did watch those episodes. Well, what am I going to do with all this milk, though?
Please throw it out. Do anything with it. Just get it out of here.
I can't do that, Justin.
I swear I can see it
food.
making milk curds. Please.
Justin, I need you to drink the milk.
Brother, it's growing green.
Justin, all I need you to do is just think of your Lord and Savior Zoro and just chalk it down. I believe it. Okay, we didn't need the noises. We can do without the sound effects.
And I could do without milk curds forming in the corner of the room.
Come on, buddy. You can do it. Come on.
I definitely can't.
Just a little sip. Just a little sip.
What do you mean a sip? Get that away from me.
Just a little sip, buddy. All right, well, we'll come back to that one. All right, well, okay, fine. Then we're here for, it's just me and Justin this week then, episode 595 to 598. Yeah, I guess, joke's on me. We're not doing a spoiler cast, but maybe the joke will be on Justin by the end of this recording session. So, Justin, do you want to do the summary or do you want me to do the summary, my guy?
I can't breathe.
You're fine. Okay, I'll do the summary. Let's start our summary off with what went down with Zoro's group. We see the boys walking toward the lake with big knots on their heads as we learn about the Yeti Cool brothers' assassination attempt. Soon after, the group go back to looking for Kinemon and quite literally stumble upon him, frozen in snow. Kinemon deciphers that his torso has fallen into the lake, and so the boys make their way over to it. As they arrive, they notice the mountainous Smiley launching pieces of himself across the lake. Some of those pieces are falling into the lake, however, and are slowly poisoning the whole thing. Sanji acts quickly and retrieves Kinemon's torso. When he resurfaces, him and the rest of the group are surrounded by a bunch of sentient Smiley spawns. Thankfully, Foxfire Kinemon makes quick work of them, and they all make their way to find Momonosuke. Outside the main laboratory's front door, Luffy, Robin, and Franky arrive in the middle of the Navy's skirmish with the centaurs. Surprisingly enough, Caesar Clown has also made his appearance. Naturally, Luffy charges head-on toward Master, and while Caesar seems to pose a formidable threat, Luffy just seems to always grab the upper hand somehow. While Luffy has him by the scruff, he asks his crewmates to find something to store our gassy fellow in. In that moment of hubris, Caesar manages to knock Luffy down without even lifting a finger. And not just him, but Robin, Franky, Tashigi, and Smoker as well. Meanwhile, inside the lab, Chopper managed to sneak into Caesar's room, while Law has a run-in with a familiar face named Vertigo. Who is this man with a stake on his face and possession of Law's heart? Not romantically speaking. He's literally holding Law's heart. Squeezing it even. It's kind of gross. We don't know, but maybe we'll find out next week. Stay tuned. Well, this is the part where we go like, hey, how'd you guys enjoy the episodes? Like, what do you guys have any questions? What's going on? And we can't really do that this week. Nope. So in light of that, Justin, I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to shut my brain off. I am going to pull a Zoro and purge my memory of anything that happens in the future. and just start throwing shit at a dartboard. Can I do that? Will you allow me this opportunity?
I don't know what that means, but anything for content.
Right. So I think I want to start with this Virgo guy. I don't know how I feel about this guy. I don't know why he's got lost heart. I don't really know what his bamboo shoot thing is all about, but that steak on his face. I think this man must clearly have the steak fruit. He's got to be a paramecia. I mean, like what else would it be? Like, why the hell has this guy got a stupid freaking ribeye strapped to his cheek like that? All right.
I feel like you're focused too much on the steak and not focused enough on the face.
It's like the most prominent aesthetic of this motherfucker. Like, what else is it supposed to be?
All right, it's not him. All right,
it's an accessory. What are you talking about? What kind of motherfucker walks up with a steak as an accessory?
Someone who's innovative, clearly. All right,
right. Clearly a visionary, of course. How silly of me.
See, you're focusing too much on the steak and letting it, influence you to the wrong direction. Less on steak. You think
the steak's a MacGuffin? All right. So then, what do you think this guy's deal is?
The real you got to look in the background, and that's the face. All right. And what's his face doing? It's clinging onto things for dear life. For what reason? We don't know. But what I'm thinking is he's got to have some like glue fruit or like sticky fruit. Like he is just like a like the lint roller that you get for like your suits when there's just too much stuff going or dog hair. That's what he is. He might be the lint roller man. All right, that's all I'm working with here.
He's the lint fruit, the lint brush user. He ate the lint fruit, became a lint brush human.
Yep.
Wait a minute, hold on. I think you're onto something. Okay, you're right. One Piece is notorious for this, after all. Oda likes to put these like extreme red herrings front and center to distract us from what's really going on under the hood. So actually, I like where your head's at. We could even give him like a cool power. Like maybe he's got like the static fruit or something, like an offshoot of Eneru. Maybe he's got like the paramecia style of Eneru or something like that. Maybe that's why shit sticks to him. But fuck all that noise. I want him to be a lint brush human.
See,
that sounds great.
The more I think about it is, well, the only thing so from what I remember, I believe, the only exposed skin he had was his face. He's covered completely head to toe, trench coat, gloves, boots, all the 9 yards, right? So it would stand to reason that his skin is the only thing that once it makes contact with things, it just grabs on and never lets go, right?
God, wait. So what you're describing to me sounds like this guy clearly is just fly paper. Like his skin is just fly paper.
Yes.
Wow. What a miserable existence that would be. I really hope he can turn that off. That if he can't turn that off, I don't know what I would do with myself. Imagine you're just like hanging out and all of a sudden like a mosquito, jumps onto your face or onto your arm. And not only is it, stuck to you, constantly just bothering you, you can't even get it off without like washing it. You got to go to the bathroom or whatever to deal with that. Ugh. That sounds terrible. I would hate that.
Surely he has some type of control as a seemingly adult man and before he's Japanese high school age boy. Anyway,
and before he's a high school.
Listen, man, if you want to tell me he's just the same age as Jotaro Kujo, I'd have to believe you because there's just precedent for this, unfortunately. But not the point. What the point is here,
bro, you are jumping animes. You know I don't know anything other than One Piece. You got to stick to you got to ground me here, okay?
Just imagine Zoro just like twice the muscle mass from Actually, no. I'm thinking of pre-time skip, post-time skip. See, okay, think current Zoro just knock him down to high school age.
Okay,
and that's about it. That's like the thread, the not the stereotype. What's the word I'm looking for? The trope. Yes, that is the trope that is often present in other animes.
So like maybe like Zoro pre-time skip, like literally just pre-time skip Zoro then.
See, but like he would have double the muscle definition, and then they would tell you he's 13.
So you're saying age-wise pre-time skip Zoro, but with the cut of post-time skip Zoro.
Yes, exactly.
I gotcha. Okay, no,
that is the trope that is present primarily in JoJo as the greatest offender, as far as my knowledge goes, but also just universally everywhere else, right?
Well, I mean, anime just kind of be doing that, though. You know what I mean?
I was thinking, Virgo first gets his our presumed headcanon devil fruit hero of fly trap paper, and
that man
I want
lint brush.
Lint brush.
Continue, I'm so sorry.
he was having a bad time when he first unlocked that power or whatever. Because he's like, let's say, he gets something on his forearm. He's like, oh, something stuck to me. And then he grabs it with his left hand. And now it's stuck in his left hand. So then he takes his right hand to try and remove it. But then it's stuck in his right. And now he's just in a perpetual state of just stuck.
Now I'm just imagining like every Looney Tunes bit where they do this exact gag where they get like stuck in glue or tar or something and they're just constantly trying to remove the things that are getting stuck to them. But it doesn't matter because as soon as you try to pull something away, you just get it stuck somewhere else. Man, this is a sad existence. I'd be very upset if I had this power.
Surely he's moved beyond this, though. He's so much. He's got a better quality of life. Surely.
I cannot wait to put. I don't even care what happens next. Even if this isn't his devil fruit, I want this as a career day in the future. This is a bona fide promised devil fruit. As far as I am concerned, we will be career daying the lint fruit, also known as what turns you into a lint brush human. All right.
Well, it can't be all bad. Like he's got a snake on his face. He's got like he's not a pocket dimension, but like he's just kind of just a pocket.
Are you suggesting like he's got through his power, he's got the ability to just like he's got a bag of holding, but like physically on the skin, maybe?
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, but like until he runs out of space or something.
Listen, it's not infinite, but he's got a lot more room than the average person.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. He has access to the surface areas that are his skin. So therefore, by extension, he could, in theory, just, mess around and, store some stuff. Not that it seems like he needs a whole lot. He's just kind of big chilling with his jacket and a bamboo stick for whatever reason. And the Law's having a really bad day. Yeah. His heart's What the hell is going? So he gave his heart presumably to this guy, I guess.
Well, like you could it would be a reasonable assumption to assume that he like knocked his own heart out, but like I just don't see the reason behind that. So I'm thinking like somebody else must have done it to him, and then later down the line somehow that previous up fruit user, deceased, and the fruit ended up in his possession.
Okay, so hold on. Okay, so you're saying... Okay, hold on. You just blew my mind. You're saying Law never had his heart, essentially. You're saying his heart was always lost, and that the previous user of his devil fruit did this.
Just definitely before he obtained his current devil fruit. Like, the previous user had to have put him in that state, and then by some means or another, he gained the op fruit himself because the previous user, deceased or whatever, right?
What the hell?
Because I see no reason... to just be like, look at this, I can knock my own heart out. Like, why the fuck would you do that?
Right, like, that's my question is like, okay, so unless there's a new MacGuffin, which this guy might be the next MacGuffin for all I fucking know, unless there is a new MacGuffin, we have no reason to believe that anybody else has this power. So it has to have come from Law, but I kind of like where your head's at. So you're suggesting that maybe this goes into like part of the reason why he's on this island, like dicking around. So you suggest that maybe before Law had gotten this power, he maybe was shacked up, maybe with somebody with the power? But then why would they do that? Okay, so maybe he was like fighting him or something, and then like this happened, or okay, yeah. And then by happenstance, he was like, hey, this is a pretty cool devil fruit. This is my devil fruit now. And now he's like do you think he's just been searching for his heart this whole time? Is that what he's been on the island to find?
You know what? Maybe. Also, I mean, honestly, everything we've suggested based off my one sentence sounds really cool and plausible. I want to scrap all of that and go back to Vergo. What I'm thinking here is Vergo's, lint fruit has got some extreme suction, all right? My man literally just ripped the heart out of Law.
He put his hand on Law's chest and was just like, hey, you have a heart here, right? It's mine now. It just comes out the same way. I don't know about that one, Chief.
I feel like that way less mental hoops to jump through, is what I'm saying. All right.
Well, right, but I kind of like how in depth the other one was, though. So I choose to embrace it.
Yeah, but I'm trying to be right at the end of the day. So Vergo just seems like the more plausible, thread to roll down.
Okay, but I feel like that there's no. I don't know if this feels more right, because at the end, we still saw Law like catch up with Vergo. Clearly, they know each other from some past, but it did seem like genuinely this is the first time that he has seen Vergo, at least on this side. Oh, unless you're wait, are you still saying the same thing? Like maybe back before Punk Hazard, like Vergo like jacked the heart out of Law's body or whatever. I don't know, dude. I mean, I like it. I like where your head's at. All right. I mean, I like merging our characters here, the power. But I guess I would imagine it feels like a real weird like narrative choice to have like two powers do this heart bit. Don't you think?
I mean, we already have Smoke Man and Gas Man, and for all intents and purposes, they're like not that divergent from each other.
Holy shit, hold on, you're onto something. Wait a minute, there's precedent. Maybe this entire arc is just mirror matchups.
When do we get okay, hold on. There's Gum Fruit, which is he's a rubber boy. What's the like similar but same adjacent?
Maybe it was it Swamp maybe? Because it's
I hope not.
I don't think it's Swamp.
Okay. What's also chewy like gum? Gum? Yeah, I was like, is there an actual gum man? He's just
wait a minute. Wait, no. Hear me out. It is the power to use, like, to be gum. Like, it is a logia for gum, but it's called the rubber fruit. So you got the rubber man that's called the gum fruit, and you got the gum man who's called the rubber fruit.
Okay, I see what you're working with. This is also way better because I thought you were going to hit me with some Hunter x Hunter reference and be like, okay, they call him the gum man, but he's really got the power of Bungie.
No, wait a minute. Hold on. I like this. So we've got Law and Vergo, who, okay, so if we assume that Vergo is the lint trap user, the lint user, if you will, he can just kind of like pull body parts away, similarly to Law, but he's not restricted by a room. Meanwhile, we got Smoker versus Caesar. And then, honestly, now I think about it, I don't think there's going to be a new motherfucker that shows up with the rubber fruit, also known as the gum man. I bet Luffy's just going to fight the slime thing. That actually makes a lot more sense. You know what I mean? Like being in like I don't know. I just feel that's like fair. Gum versus slime feels somewhat on brand, don't you think? Maybe.
I feel like that's more fitting for Caribou because like Swamp is like slime adjacent.
Well, that's kind of why I was like immediately going into like, I feel like the opposite of rubber would be something that just like is not stretchy or hard, but maybe the opposite of rubber is just metal and I'm a fool.
Hear me out.
Okay,
I constantly forget this guy's name and I hate it. The guy from Skypiea that beat up Luffy at the bar before he ran into Blackbeard.
That's Bellamy.
Bellamy, right. Guy with the spring fruit.
Sure.
What if Bellamy
shows
just
up?
Stretched out a little bit? Like,
yeah.
Before his spring fruit seemed just like, I jump good and fast. Like, there wasn't like an elastic element to him the way like I associate the spring fruit as being like slinky adjacent, where if he wanted to, he could really just kind of like get a little bit more loose and nimble, but still have, enough of that retraction force to just be like, I think of that Slinky dog from Toy Story. Like, what if, Bellamy worked on his power a little bit and now he can essentially like emulate Luffy's power?
Yes.
I'm seeing parallels here. That's what I'm working with.
No, I'm on this thread. Actually, I really like where your head's at. If Luffy versus Smiley is not like Luffy's bad in this arc, because now I kind of feel like we're setting small precedents where it's going to be Law versus this Vergo guy, Smoker versus Caesar, just because thematically their powers match up. And then if it's not going to be Luffy versus Smiley, I sort of feel like if maybe we just like throw a real Hail Mary and fucking Bellamy comes out of nowhere and then they redo their fight or something. Maybe Bellamy's picked up a new bag of tricks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, last time we saw him, he got iced by Doflamingo or whatever, but like we all know, like nobody ever fucking
no one
dies.
ever stays dead.
Yeah, like let's be real. So anyway, Bellamy's back on the table is all I'm saying. I like this. Okay, all right. Well, Justin, thank you. I appreciate the fact that we can still cook some theories.
We can still cook some theories, even with our abundance of knowledge that may or may not actually mean anything at the end of the day.
Oh, you have knowledge? No, I don't have knowledge. I like I said, I purged all of it from my memory.
I allegedly have knowledge. I just forget so much that I don't know what's like actual memory and just fever dream imagination.
I always said that I wanted the ability to forget the series so that I could restart it. Well, I've done it. I found it. I've learned I've learned the ability. Now I can finally watch the rest of this series like everybody else.
He has found the factory reset button. We've done it.
I found it, yes.
I am the holder of all knowledge, except I remember almost none of my knowledge. So really, the entire landscape of our podcast has completely shifted, where it's just 4 people watching One Piece for the first time. There is no longer a split party.
There are no people who know what comes next. There are only people who are
living in the moment.
Living in the moment, absolutely. Well, okay. So I feel like we talked a lot about Virgo. So that was a little bit later in the episodes. To be fair, Law was he was hanging out with Chopper. For whatever reason, him and Chopper were like, okay, well, Law said he'll distract Monet. And then Monet was like, yeah, sure, I'll go with you, Law. He. And it turns out like Virgo and Monet are working for another boss or something, even higher up than Caesar, I guess, because they don't trust Caesar. And they betrayed fucking Law or whatever. We got a lot to unpack there, I'm sure, in the near future.
There's some triple agent stuff going on. I just don't know who's where.
Well, there's literally like a quadruple agent right now. So let's see who's betraying who right now. We've got the Luffy and co. They're just vibing. Like they've showed up, right? All right. So we've got the main. We got Brownbeard, who got betrayed by Caesar, right? Then we got Caesar, but Monet and Virgo are secretly betraying Caesar. We got Law, who's looking in the facility, who's also betraying Caesar. We got Caesar, who is betraying all of the rest of his other cronies. It's betrayal
and also
all the
Navy,
way down,
technically, kind of, sort of. Even that's more retrospective than anything else. But
I wouldn't say that's betrayal, because he's just more of a. He's not a convict. I'm sorry. He's a what do you call it?
He's excommunicated member of the Navy science. section.
He's like an actual what is that word when like they want like the military or the government wants to catch you? You're a fugitive. Thank you. That is the word. Thank you, Justin. What would I do without you? He is a fugitive. So, there's not really a whole lot of like trickery to happen to the Navy. The Navy wants to capture him and Caesar's like, no.
I guess for me, I'm reading too a lot into the, 4 years ago or how many years ago it was when he blew up the island to, I'm assuming, intentionally create Smiley, since apparently Smiley is the living embodiment of that explosion on Punk Hazard many, many years ago.
I feel like this one's actually a little strange to me. So I don't, this was my interpretation. I don't necessarily think the goal of Caesar being here was to like, I guess, hold Smiley down and then like bring it back up, because I feel like it was already complete, right? So he just kind of like had Smiley in the back pocket for forever. And I think what's going on right now is that shit's hitting the fan so much that's causing Caesar to like be a bit annoyed, but also like it gives him the objective, like, or it gives him the opportunity to be like, hey, I'm going to reuse Smiley again because that shit was fucking hilarious 4 years ago. Because he essentially like, they blew up the island and it was the gas like, killed everyone that was left behind. Then he was like, oh, and then I'm going to turn it into goop. And then he did somehow, whatever. And he was like, just go chill in this cage until I tell you to get out. And I don't really feel like there didn't seem to be any notion from Caesar here where he was like, you guys have no idea how long I've been cooking this monster, dude. It's the best monster of all time. Smiley takes center stage. Now, he was just kind of like, yo, Smiley, do you mind mopping things up? Because I'm getting fucking annoyed with these guys.
Mayhaps.
At least that's just kind of the impression I got so far. We haven't gotten an expansion on why Caesar suddenly was like, oh, hey, Smiley, good to have you back, bro. Just fucking murder everybody for me. Also explode, because he does that for whatever reason.
Fair enough. I guess only time will tell, maybe.
Time will tell, indeed. But before we get to, I guess, Luffy team, I might as well just stick with going with Zoro and Sanji team. And they're big chillin'. And like literally get it because it's cold. They're big chillin'. They're going out trying to find the Kinemon's body or his torso or whatever. And they stumble upon his dumb ass. Okay, well, first of all, they escaped the Cool Brothers.
I do want to ask you what your thoughts on that assassination attempt and how it actually went down off screen.
I feel like the action we got on screen made for an understandable assassination attempt where the Yeti Cool Brothers were like, okay, yeah, we must have like completed it. Because the way the anime kind of did this bit, so the Yeti Cool Brothers chose to gas them with like drunk gas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they chose drunk gas, but that's just what they chose. They could use like, killing gas, but whatever. We can't kill our protagonists or anything out here. They used drunk gas and then knocked him off a cliff to then fall into a pit of spikes. Actually, a plateau of spikes, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
And then Zoro, since he's he's got the highest tolerance of the crew.
He's got the highest tolerance. He's got the highest constitution. My man was like, I am sloshed, but I live in slosh, so I got this.
He rolled a 19, and the DM was like, okay, you have exactly 2 minutes of consciousness left to your name.
He was like, perfect.
That's all I need. So Sanji and Brook are passed the fuck out. And then Zoro, with his, extremely high constitution, he was like, all right, I'm just going to swish, cut the plateau in half. And he does. And then they slide down. I will give the anime credit for the way it was sort of animated here, because the Yeti Cool Brothers, they do double check that like they fell down and into the spiky plateau. And if you're the Yeti Cool Brothers, you're like, oh, well, that's weird. The plateau's suddenly cut in half. Well, the anime does like this smoke thing where they kind of like make it really ambiguous whether or not like the plateau was compromised in any way. You can still see, and then they also still show like a significant portion of the spiky plateau. So I'm not going to say that in the Yeti Cool Brothers defense, like this is a relatively reasonable, okay, yeah, we got him, boss. We're done here. But like, God, I don't know if I like the "we got him, boss" without actually double checking. I feel like
everything was reasonable on the Yeti Cool Brothers side, where it's like, okay, like there's a lot of debris, floating about. Like that's just them slamming the snow, right? Probably whatever. What I find unreasonable and should have been a red flag was they sent like a recon group at the bottom of the valley or whatever to collect their corpses that they assumed would be there, and then they get got by Sanji, who just manages to wake up or whatever. Which now I think about it, Zoro lives in Sloshed, but I feel like anytime we've seen Nami heavily drink, she's always the one left standing. So clearly she's got the higher constitution. I
actually think this is actually a really funny bit. So I was thinking the same thing. You question whether or not Zoro should have been the last one to fall asleep. Or sorry, you don't question whether or not Zoro should be the last one to fall asleep, but you somewhat question that Sanji would be the first to wake up until you remember that the only other member of the Straws that can very significantly hold their liquor is Nami. So it does sort of track.
I like that. So yeah, so they sent the recon group to collect their corpses that they assume would be there. But then, Sanji, Nami, or whatever, wakes up, roundhouse kicks everyone in the face, knocks them all out. And I'm just here like, surely someone checks it back in with you guys. To be like, so did you tie him up? Did you bring in the bat? Do you got the body bag? We need to send one out to you.
Surely somebody calls them over on the like a transponder snail and goes like, hey guys, do you have a report on those bodies you were supposed to pick up?
Surely someone's noticed, like, it really doesn't take this long to put a body in a bag.
Although to be fair, at this point, like there's a couple of different. Obviously, there's like the Law and Chopper stuff happening. Luffy and Co are doing their own thing, which we'll get into in a minute. And then, of course, we've got Zoro, Brook, Sanji, and Kinemon trying to get Kinemon's torso. All of these things supposedly, or they're supposed to be happening like in tandem. So I guess you could make a small argument that like as Smiley starts to slowly engulf the other side of the island, mayhaps, they're just like really fucking busy, not dying to slime right now. There's a little bit of argument to be made there, I think, maybe, but I don't want to give too much credit either way. It was good bits though, seeing Sanji, Nami wake up and wake the fuck out of these other two idiots, and then they argued for like 5 minutes over whether or not they believe in the Yeti, and I thought that bit was honestly great. I don't know why this is here, and then they like question. Okay, so they actually argue over whether or not they believe in the Yeti. Sanji's like, I totally believe in the Yeti. Zoro's like, absolutely not. And then Brook is like, I'm happy to ponder the idea. And And Sanji's like, wow, that's like a really mature like response. And then Brook's like, I am 70 plus years old after all. Anyway, but then they cut back in time to when they were like starting to get introduced to the Yeti Cool Brothers or whatever, and they were like, no, there's no way a Yeti exists, until they see a footprint, and then each of them have an idea of which, like, what a Yeti looks like. What a dumb fucking bit. We got Brook, who's like probably the most reasonable, honestly. It looks like a caveman, but with white fur for a body. And then Sanji's like, yes, Yeti woman. And then, of course, Zoro comes out with the classic, it's the same as Brook, only with a sword. Because everything has to everything's better with swords, after all.
Anything worth my time is carrying a sword.
Dude, actually, that's a really good way to put it. Zoro could not care less unless he has a sword. He only gives a fuck if there's a sword involved. Great bits. But as they're running to the lake where they assume Kinemon was, they stumbled upon his frozen ass, and they stomp him awake. Which I actually kind of thought this was a bit of a retcon on the way, like, the severity of being frozen solid in this universe, if I'm going to be honest. The last time we had characters literally freezing solid from Aokiji, Chopper made it very clear we need to be very careful about how we thaw them so that they don't, like, crack and break or, thaw too quickly or whatever. And then meanwhile, these goons they just smash him away.
They're just stomping him. That man is getting trampled.
Oh, no.
And then you get a kick from Sanji Nami, which it comes back up later in the, when Sanji swims to collect the torso, where he's like, okay, like, I'm strong, but can Nami's body, like, handle, like, my output? You know what I mean? So I'm like, is Nami just, like, way stronger than we give her credit to? Or, like, I don't know. Like, well, I would not be surprised if when Sanji and Nami, returns to their respective bodies, Nami's gonna be like, oh, cool, my body's back. And then she just collapses. She's like, what did you do to my legs? I've never been in so much pain.
Why are my legs so fucking sore right now? Actually, that would be a good bit. I do think that I think Sanji's smart here for having not overdone, like, overexerting Nami's body in this sense. I'm sure that I have to believe that there's a few limitations not being in his old body, because clearly it's not a requirement to have the leg strength that his normal body has in order to do blue walk or whatever, because he was able to do that underwater. Clearly, that's more of like a mental thing that stays with him. But my guess is that since he was so concerned about, utilizing that technique or whatever, he recognizes at some capacity that it's a very exhaustive technique. So it probably, I actually kind of like the idea you had, where as soon as, like, Nami becomes Nami again, she's going to literally just fall to the floor and be like, I can't move my legs. Sanji, what the fuck happened? And Sanji's like, listen, like, I had to, swim and stuff. And then she's going to bill him for, like, the surgery to make sure her legs work again or something.
You know what? Now I'm thinking about it. We have precedent for this. After Chopper and Franky swapped back, Chopper was like, oh, I see you use Monster Point. I can't move.
We do have precedent for this. Although, to be fair, that one's a lot more believable, since we already knew that if Chopper used the Rumble Ball, like, even normal Chopper, if he uses Rumble Ball, he's like, yep, I'm literally paralyzed. It kind of sucks. But, I still got to use that power. It's a pretty cool power. He takes one for the team for sure. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how that bit plays out. I bet that there's a bit there. There's something cooking in there, I think. But yes, the goons do make it to the lake, and then they're also they see the giant ooze slimy smiley monster in the distance, and he just kind of, like, turns into fucking Quadu. You know what I'm talking about? What's the name of that fucking, like, orange dude with the snout? That it's like an old arcade game. You know what I'm talking about? It starts with a Q.
You lost me. I thought you were trying to describe Weasel from Pokemon.
All right, I got it. It's Cubert. All right, so he Cuberts on the other side of the lake. And if you know what Cubert is, listeners, then you know what I'm talking about. And then just starts, shooting himself across it for I guess he could just do that. I don't know. He became a cannon for no reason.
What is sentience, really?
What even is sentience at this point? Yeah, you do. He just like, hey, I choose to spit myself across this lake.
And then just spread my consciousness across a million spawn.
I love this too. Every time he spits a piece of himself, each chunk has its own sentience. Like there's not like a single sentience with the main slime. Every time he breaks himself into pieces, each tiny piece has sentience until they merge. And then they all become a giant sentient. I just fucking Jesus Christ. This thing's like kind of terrifying, actually. I don't know how to feel about this thing. Oh, we haven't even talked about it, but I guess we had previous weeks, but they tried to cut Smiley. Then he just kind of like exhausts all of the gas that's built up around the slime, presumably. And then some G5 goon goes like, here, I'm going to burn it alive. Nothing can survive fire. That was the last thing he ever did because it exploded. So Smiley's an accelerant.
Yes.
We should be very careful about when we do and do not light this fucker
Smiley
on fire.
is volatile. He is explosive. Possibly corrosive. You can't convince me he's not. Smiley is just all of the danger logos on your chemical warnings.
Yeah. He is the hazard symbol incarnate, like made to fruition. Like he's just a physical embodiment of every hazard symbol in the OSHA dictionary, if I'm going to be honest.
What? This reminds me, because the other day I actually had to do some training related to that at work. Just, quick online program of here's what all of these logos mean. Here's what each type of hazard actually means in terms of, physical harm done. And I'm like, it was 6:00 in the morning. I was falling asleep at the computer naturally. And I'm just here like, if they just explained it to me in Smiley terms, maybe I would have done that a lot faster.
Oh my
and possibly
God.
been more engaged.
What are you talking about? Explain it in Smiley terms. What does that even mean?
If we explained what corrosive means, right? And we just have an image of Smiley doing a corrosive act, right? I could be like,
Sure.
oh, that's what that means. Or, explosiveness or volatility, right? Like you have Smiley exploding. Like
right,
that would make
course.
sense. Where like, volatility is just like how fast he turns to a gas, blah, 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 blah. Smiley doing the gassing. Like, you see what I'm working with? Like, if you just explain it to me in Smiley terms, I might have been more engaged.
It sounds like what you're asking for is a hazard mascot, and specifically you would like Smiley to be the stand-in for your hazard mascot. Am I understanding this correctly?
Time to hit up Oda and whoever owns One Piece and just really get that collaboration going. It would do you wonders.
That's a collab of the century. Imagine that we get an Oda OSHA collab. OSHA X One Piece. And it's just like Caesar Clown explaining like all of the general workplace hazards, and then being like, Smiley, do you mind demonstrating to all the lovely people at home what not to do if you're surrounded by poison gas?
Wow, this is so good.
It's not that
I love
good.
this. I want this. We have a new workforce we have a new generation entering the workforce. Surely there's enough weebs on the work site for this to be a plausible strategy.
Dude, we're taking over blue collar work. This is where we hashtag take over blue collar work. Let's go, boys. One Piece X blue collar. Oh my fucking God. What a dumb bit. How did we get here? So yeah, anyway, Smiley on the other side of the lake is Q-birding, also duding, Pengu duding from across the lake. And spit. Yeah, nuding. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Thanks for the alley-oop there. Spitting himself across. He's simultaneously spitting himself to where Zoro, Brook, and Sanji are, which is at the edge on the other side of the lake. And then also as far as the lab base that they supposedly are trying to break into to get to Caesar Clown or whatever. So he's got range, I guess is what I'm getting at. There's no fucks given with this guy or slime monster thing, whatever the hell he is. And this is when, as like the slimes are starting to collect, and then Brook and Zoro and Sanji are like, oh, actually, I like this bit. At first it goes, so they all talk about who's going to go in and get the torso in the lake, right? And then Sanji's like, okay, well, I'm the best swimmer. I'm in Nami's body, but I'm still the best swimmer, so I'll fucking do it. And then he goes, you guys take care of the slimes. And then Brook looks around and he goes, what slimes? And then just freaks the fuck out because there's a million of these little slime dudes that are starting to approach them.
It was so
Justin?
good. It was so good. I mean, it wasn't good because
you?
they realized they could not do a single thing against Slimy. So they just kind of had to stand there, wait for Sanji to come back, have him complain about, didn't I tell you to handle this? And they were like, well, we tried and it didn't work. So any ideas?
I do feel like I gotta channel the inner Devin and Christian on this one though, because unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your perspective, remember when Brook got hit by the sleep gas?
Yeah.
And it definitely put him to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
There was precedent that he can be affected by gas weapons, and he was also affected by the alcohol weapon.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he was completely unhindered by the poison gas that came out of the goop was a little whack.
Well, okay, I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but let's think about this a little bit. What's it gonna do to him?
So I guess that does raise a valuable point. So I guess it depends, because, okay, the sleep gas, he doesn't have lungs or anything like that, but he can still fall asleep. So maybe it affects like his soul brain, if you will, because he doesn't have a physical brain. That we all know that. Again, the drunk one maybe affects his soul brain again. So I suppose if the gas was made to kill, he doesn't have lungs to burn. He doesn't have eyes to burn.
He doesn't have a bloodstream to, poison and to intoxicate.
There's
whatever.
really dumb logic at play, and this the crux of the argument rests on whether or not we are going to accept that soul brain exists. I think.
I think I said that. I got on record to explain this in the past. I am convinced that Brook is only nerfed by his state of mind. I
do also think that, but that hasn't been. There has not been a precedent or an explicit statement of that aim, though. I will say, which is why I gotta be that guy for 2 seconds on this.
That is fair, but even with that explanation or that stance I have, there is some overlap where it's okay, drunkenness is a state of mind. Sleepiness also kind of sort of a state of mind. These make sense to me on the hill that I am standing on. There's overlap there. When I look at poisoning, I'm okay, does your argument, pose a valid critique? Yes. However, you poison a bunch of bones, what does that really do? And in my head, I'm it doesn't really do anything because there's nothing to affect in my mind. But if you could affect his, as you put it, his soul brain, then now we're talking.
I feel like this rests on the crux that is whether or not Brook has soul brain. I feel like if he doesn't have soul brain, then I can't in good conscience let this one slide, in its entirety, if I'm going to be honest. But
that is fair.
I'm going to say homie must clearly be able to be affected. He can be affected by psychedelics, which honestly, now that I think about it, that's on brand for a musician. He wants to be influenced by the psychedelics, huh?
Making sense.
Funky, if you're listening, can you cross-verify this? I just, for a friend, just want to make sure that's the case here. I have it on good authority that you are an expert in this field, and not that you've ever said this to me, but I'm going to gaslight you into saying that you are now the expert in this field. But yeah, so we got Sanji jumping into the water, going after the torso. He finds the torso eventually, and then it's getting chewed up by a shark. The kid almost having a bad time.
He's having a bad time. Frozen, being literally eaten. Man's having a bad day.
Every time the shark munches a little bit on the torso, he's just oh my god, I'm fine, it itches, and then they're all just clearly you are in pain. You can say so, but we're not gonna we're not gonna play into this. We're not gonna placate this bit right now. Okay, we got other things to do. And at this point, Zoro had tried to cut the slime, which we already talked about, and then he was like, huh. I guess that doesn't work, so I don't know. I guess I've done nothing, and I'm all out of ideas. Zoro's listen,
I'm a simple man.
If I can't slice it, I don't know what else we got on the table here.
Listen, I only got my sword, and if I try really hard, I have the back of my sword that's blunt. I don't see that working here.
No, he also has the no sword style, but I don't think he's interested in that right about now. And then Sanji eventually does come up with the torso after utilizing some observation haki. We got confirmation that he's got observation haki, which is kind of sick.
That's kind of cool,
but
actually.
I kind of feel like we already had that confirmation because at one point Luffy had mentioned when they were going over the game plan with Law about who was going to capture Caesar, he was like, yeah, so me and two others have haki. I don't know if he explicitly called out Sanji or Zoro, but I feel like the assumption here is that Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy must be the ones that can use the haki to fuck with Caesar or whatever, right?
Even if he didn't explicitly name them, and this is me just being a smooth brain, I understood it as Sanji and Zoro, but I was very much under the limited scope of like they have armament haki where like they could just touch a Lokia, and that's realistically all we needed for this conversation.
Sure. Yeah, like maybe they can maybe they're like limited in the amount of haki that they have available at their disposal or something. They only have the that good armament haki. They don't have the cool observation haki. But thankfully we got this nice little bit where Sanji's like, I'm gonna turn on observation mode, and then he's like searching for the legs or whatever, or torso. Excuse me. Pardon me. The legs are already found, by the way. Don't get confused. There's legs. There's a head and there's a torso. Don't.
I'm thinking back to Skypiea where he had I forgot what it was called. Was it Metal Vision or something like that?
Okay.
And I'm like,
wow, what a throwback.
Was that observation hockey?
I mean, honestly, like and if we didn't make that joke, we should have. That was definitely whatever they called it in Skypiea. It wasn't called observation hockey.
I don't know why the hell I was going to call it Nen like an idiot.
I
mantra,
actually
there
almost
we go.
Mantra. That's exactly right. Yeah, I if we didn't make that joke, we should have. This is Sanji's mantra, where he's just like, yes, I sense women all around me all the time. 24/7. That's the simp in him, man. That's what he can see. So it's a very good character progression to see Sanji expand on male torsos now. See, now he's hunting the male titty. You know what I'm saying? Oh, geez, I wish Dylan could cut that. I regret saying that out loud. I sort of regret that.
So we resurface and we put Kinemon back together properly this time, and he demonstrates the Foxfire epithet, if you will, where he just blows up Smiley. Somehow doesn't harm anybody who's standing 2 feet away from Smiley and all these explosions.
Yeah, like
by
the explosions, just like it's cool guys don't. Well, actually, cool guys do look at explosions.
All those G5 goons on that ship, gone. All of us were fine. There's a force field here, all right? There is nothing to worry about.
Although, to be fair, he does like expand and say like, not only can I make fire with my sword, I can also cut through the fire. So I guess you can make the argument that like he ignited the goo and then was like, oh, you thought you were going to explode me? Well, I'm Oppenheimer, bitch, and then cut through the blast or something like that.
That is fair. And I do want to ask now we're here. We clearly saw Zoro's intrigue in Kinemon as a swordsman, but I think from what maybe I'm reading too deep into this, his Foxfire technique.
Yes.
So I'm thinking Zoro's got a new teacher.
You think he's got a new teacher? I don't know about all that. Well, then again,
there's always something to learn, from your peers.
That's really true. And I actually now that you say it out loud, I kind of feel it. So there's definitely. I feel like at this point we are starting to set the precedent that if not friend, we have definitely established Foxfire Kinemon ally for the remainder of this arc at least. With that being said, maybe at some point I could see there being like maybe there'll be like a big fire bit where they need to like cut some fire or something, and then Kinemon's like, oh no, it's too much fire for me to cut, and then Zoro, because he's the Giga Chad, goes like, I'll help you cut it. and then just like, he's like, teach me how to cut fire. And then he's like, you just move your sword at the fire. And he's like this. And then Kinemon's like, wow, it took me 30 years to learn that technique. And then Zoro's like, chump. I can see it happening in the back of my mind now.
I support this, but I'm not gonna lie. I have an agenda.
Oh,
and my agenda
I know.
that Zoro learns a fire technique, and now he's another parallel to Sanji, and that just gives them more shit to argue about, and that just gives more fuel to flame for people to argue about who's better, Sanji or Zoro. When now we have 2 fire users.
Well, no, we have 3 because Luffy has fire. So
he's excluded from this conversation. It's all about Sanji and Zoro right now.
Well, right, okay, and that's fine. I guess I would expand and reinforce your claim here that it does seem like we are setting up the building blocks for Zoro to eventually learn how to use fire, but in sword mode as opposed to in kick mode or fist mode like Luffy and Sanji.
Yes.
And it does seem like it would kind of maybe make sense. Maybe
I love when a plan comes together.
I'm not gonna say it makes sense, like because if Christian and Devin are listening to this, they're gonna be like, "Shut the fuck up." Anyway, but it kind of makes sense.
I don't know, man. There's some evidence. There's some crumbs here.
All 3 of them learning fire at some point kind of tracks. Is all I'm saying. Like the 3 like the head hitters of the crew, all using fire related shit. Like I don't know. It kind of makes sense.
That's all I'm saying, man.
I know. I'm right there with you. I'm behind you one step.
I'm hoping my agenda comes to fruition. That's all I'm saying. I like what's on the table, and I'm hoping we make them deal.
I hoped it came true too until you said that out loud, and now suddenly I just wish nothing but the opposite. Now I hope that he never learns how to do anything with fire.
In Brook, like
but we already have
said about
fire
2 ice users, but like I don't know, man. Like
no,
Zoro just doesn't seem to have the icy personality for me personally.
I'm deviating. Fuck you. I'm done with this. You know what's going to happen instead? So we already have Sanji Luffy doing fire. We got Brook with ice. What if, hear me out here. What if Zoro learns how to use, I was going to say light, but I didn't know how I was going to find that thread. So I'm just going to pivot from light and be like, he's going to become a mist user. Yeah. He's going to get the power of mist.
Interesting.
Why do you ask? Because he saw Foxfire Kinemon and goes, I can't steal this guy's bit. I need my own bit.
But is Zoro really that? I mean, he is kind of that guy. He's the reason he has fucking 3 swords. But like,
I mean, yeah, like that's kind of what I'm getting at, though. Like he's nothing if not the kind of guy who wants to do everything his own way, right? He doesn't. He can't be a conformist. That's not who Zoro is. He won't conform to fire. Even more, if he becomes a mist guy, then he's an opposite to Sanji, and now they have even more shit to fight about.
Okay. I wasn't feeling it, but I'm all in on this. Let's go.
There we go. See, all right, so Zoro's going to learn the power of mist development. Don't ask me how or why, but it will happen. All right, thank you. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And that's the Goon Squad. They got Kinemon back. He's really tall, by the way. Just like really, he's a behemoth. He's taller than Brook for some reason, and Brook is canonically like 9 feet tall or something like that.
Holy shit!
Like what the fuck is this guy? So you see, there's just this really tall samurai for no fucking reason. Anyway, moving back over to the Luffy team, the Luffy, Franky, and Robin Dream team. So they
before we continue, I have a genuine question.
Sure, go ahead.
Where the fuck is Usopp?
That's a decent question. Usopp and Nami are just kind of like, am I the fuck A, aren't they?
Honestly, I completely forgot about Nami, but where the fuck is Usopp?
I think actually, no, this tracks. I remember them talking about it. No, Nami and Usopp are taking care of the tied up kids.
Okay, that's what I assumed, but like I didn't see that, and I'm like, where the fuck is Usopp?
We did not cut back to them at any point, at least in my episodes. I don't know if you saw them at any point in your episodes.
Maybe I glossed over it, but I do not recall.
Yeah, we did not cut back to that. But yes, now that you've reminded me, it is Usopp and Nami together because they agreed to leave Nami behind in case Sanji comes back so they can get switched. And then Usopp was like, I'm no good at this anyway. I might as well watch the kids, and I can probably knock them back out if they wake up. Yes, I think this happened. I'm probably just making shit up, but it sounds right in my head, so we're going to go with it.
Or it works for me.
But we have Luffy, Franky, and Robin. They're just like the dream team, and they just come plowing in on a vibe, on a rocket, rubber man, and a dream, as they do. You know what I'm saying? Franky loves a big entrance. Robin just goes along with the crew, and then until she's like, we're coming in a little hot. Let me just sprout some wings real quick and land real graceful, like, because that's my bit. You guys, you do your own thing, all right? Just I'll be in the back. Don't worry, I'm the support. I love that about Robin's character too. She could like very easily and single-handedly be an aggressive like attack character, but she just like chooses to vibe and let Franky and Luffy do most of like the brute fighting, and then she's just like, and anyone you guys don't get, don't worry, I'll pick them off the back. You guys have fun.
She is not about exerting herself. She could if she wanted to, but she's just not about that. It's like, there's no need for me to really, overcompensate, honestly.
I know what you're saying, but I don't necessarily feel like it's that kind of energy. I genuinely feel like it's more of a, like, out of genuine, like desire to let Franky and Luffy have fun. I feel like she takes a back seat on purpose. I think it has less to do with, I don't want to exert myself, because that's just not really like her like vibe. You know what I mean? I think she generally like shows up and goes like, okay, I'll be here. Don't worry. If you guys miss any, I'll take care of it. Just have fun.
I'm the chaperone. Don't worry, guys. You guys are doing great out there.
She's like big chaperone energy all the time. It's kind of the way I'm getting at it, but I guess what I was saying. But yeah, they have some fun. They dick around. Luffy and Smoker and Tashigi fight, and Luffy laughs real hard at Smoker in his predicament. And it was quite funny. Poor Smoker. And then Luffy was like fighting Tashigi in Smoker's body, and he was like, wow, you're really fucking weak. What happened? Then he fought Smoker in Tashigi's body and was like, what the fuck happened? Suddenly you're so strong. Two completely different energies, same comments, until he's like, okay, but we can't continue this because like you're not at 100%. I wouldn't get satisfied from it. I got other shit to do. I got to go kidnap a fucking clown. And Law hears that proclamation, by the way, in the back where Luffy's like, hey, Caesar, come on out. We're here to kidnap you. Law's like,
Law is so in over his head and he just doesn't know it.
My guy, you gotta run. I'm telling you, man, you can't. So I don't know anything.
Take the contract that you drafted and just burn it.
Right. You need to burn the contract you thought you drew up. All right. You need to just because not only is it not the contract you drew up, it is not your contract anymore. It is their contract. You are a part of their contract. I don't know
at what point you got Uno reversed on the contract, but it happened and you need to null and void it immediately.
The moment he asked Luffy if he wanted in was the moment he got Uno reversed. Oh my god, dude. Law, you gotta leave, bud. Like, I don't know anything about the series because I purged my brain and all that, but my guess is you are gonna have a rough go of it for the next little while. You're gonna be going through the ringer, my guy. You need to flee while you still got the chance. You know what Law is? Law is the embodiment of me before I started watching One Piece. When I tell him to get away, it's like I'm telling past me to get the fuck out of this franchise because I didn't know how much it was going to rule my life. I had no understanding of how gravitating I was going to find this franchise. This is me telling past me, you need to get out. Don't do it, man. Don't fall into the trap. You're gonna fall in love with the charm, the stupid gags, the damn stupid storytelling, the good storytelling. You need to escape. You need to flee. Get out while you still can.
That's a deep cut.
It's not that deep of a cut. It really is. These are my true thoughts. But yeah, that's Law. He's gonna be fucked for the next like couple hundred episodes, guaranteed. Anyway, we got Luffy who's fighting Caesar all of a sudden because Caesar came out in his big bad guy moment. And then Luffy, he's showing off a little bit. He's proven that he can wrestle with Caesar because he's got some new, he's got hockey so he can fuck with Logias and whatnot. Caesar also tries to poison the fuck out of Luffy, and we get confirmation that Luffy is apparently just immune to all poison now, I guess.
Impel Down just gave Luffy the single-handed greatest buff of his entire career.
Dude, that's like a really good buff because from a writing perspective, Actually, I like this or use out of Oda's writing, because you know how many times he could default to poison weapon being like a big bad weapon in this universe or whatever. Well, he essentially just like Uno reversed any future attempts at using this as some kind of foil to the plot, in at least against Luffy, by being like, all right, I gave him super mega poison one time. It's the only time I'm ever going to do it. And now he's immune to poison. So we're good. I actually kind of appreciate that. That's good. I'm here for it. But yeah, Caesar, he gets rocked a little bit and then like blows up Luffy. And then Luffy was like, yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. And then beats the shit out of Caesar again until Caesar just kind of like makes Luffy like lose. He just kind of like looks at him angrily.
Yeah, we got
Luffy
no
loses.
explanation of what happened, but Luffy just like in the moment he like grabbed him by the scruff, turned around, and said, "Can I get something to hold this guy in?" He just went, it just died, or whatever.
He just like died, like right there on the spot. Like we have no idea what happened. I mean, presumably it must be something related to Caesar's devil fruit. I guess the question is like, if we expand further, like what exactly happened? I mean, I guess it was poison, but we just got done proving that Luffy was immune to his super strong poison. So I guess it's kind of hard to figure out like what else he might have done instead of poisoning, because presumably whatever he did to Luffy, he did to everybody, which is why they all passed the fuck out. So Caesar got Luffy, Franky, Robin, Tashigi, and Smoker all with the same bit. And I guess we have to assume it wasn't poison. Is that a fair assumption?
I don't know. I have not thought super deeply on this particular issue.
I guess what from a watcher perspective, I sort of feel like there wouldn't be much of a point to have that bit where Luffy proves that he's like immune to Caesar's, like at least his coat poison. I guess he could have like the super duper poison in his back pocket or something like that. But kind of going back to what I said before, where it sort of feels like Oda took an opportunity to be like, I did that bit once. I will never do it again. Luffy's immune to that shit because of what I've done in the past. I feel like we have set precedents that Luffy did not go down due to poison here. I guess I don't know what else would have happened, but I don't feel like it was a poison attack. Feel like you got anything? You got anything in the hopper? All right, fair enough. This would be the part where we ask Christian and Devin to ask what they figure out what might happen, and you know what? They're not here, so we unfortunately have to move on. Sorry, folks, we can't cook on all these characters all day. All right, we burned the meal on Virgo earlier, so so yeah, then Caesar knocks him the fuck out, or something, and then he wins, and I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that's where it ends.
Yeah, I think, well, we jumped around a little bit, but for the most part, the three major things that have happened was the few bits that happened with Law, the few bits that happened with Luffy team, and the few bits that happened with Sanji team. But we were jumping around to all three narratives intermittently throughout the majority of these episodes. So yeah. I enjoyed my time. The Punk Hazard's cooking. Smiley is weird. I don't know. I don't know his angle yet. I don't know what it is. I don't understand it yet, but I'm sure it'll expand further as the arc goes on. And without further, I don't know. I guess I'm good. Do you have any other things you want to bring to the table there, Justy?
Not for this episode. I did remember that it's been a long time since I like fact dumped on things. And I decided to Google Caesar Clown because I was trying to find the answer to a question in my head, and then just found a bunch of other stuff that I will hopefully remember to bring up next week. So stay tuned for that.
Fair enough. Without further ado, next week is going to be it actually says unknown to me because Bread Boy decided to change the formula, which is untrue because, that is true. I did change the formula, but I did update that list. So you could have changed it. You could have updated it.
Did you update it today?
I did update it today.
I was not looking at that episode schedule today.
That's totally fair. This is last minute. That's on me. I should have done it sooner.
I woke up very dehydrated and warm at like 5:30 in the afternoon because overnights kick my ass and the heat sucks. I was mentally not on the same planet until 7 p.m. today.
I feel that. And you know what? So next week is going to be 595 to 598. No, that's this week. Next week is going to be 599 to 602. All right.
PogChamp.
Poggy Woggy. Moving on to quotes. Justin, you got any quotes?
I do not. And I've been really bad at taking down quotes. I need to work on that.
I kind of feel like, I sort of feel like you might have been bad with quotes as of late, which is fine. Like, if nothing speaks to you,
I just get so like caught up in doing everything else that I just don't take the time to like sit down and like usually there'll be a moment I'll remember and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm totally going to remember that moment. Not so much the quotes. And then I feel like most of the time I remember the moments, but this week, I guess just like so much time has passed. I've been otherwise preoccupied with other things. I just did not remember a single thing. I gotta set my game up.
I know. Honestly, Justin, you work hard. Don't worry. No one's holding anything against you. Don't worry. I wasn't even harassing you. I was just being like, if nothing speaks to you, nothing speaks to you, man. Don't worry. We're all good. Just vibe. As long as you're here to vibe, I'm having a great time. Hopefully,
actually, hold on. There is one thing. Was it this week that Brooke gave us his explanation of like what a slime was, like his fairy tale explanation?
That was one of my quotes.
That was the moment. That scene between those three idiots, that was great.
Yeah. So, okay, this is actually one of my quotes. So, Brooke regales Kinemon, Zoro, and Sanji with the fact that, okay, so he apparently is familiar with slimes. He was like, yeah, I read all about slimes in a book before. And as he starts explaining what the slime was, he was like, its body was harmless, but it had a knack for melting clothes, and it took hold of many women. So essentially what I'm saying is we are getting Brooke's doujinshi in real time. In real time, and also Kinemon and Sanji are into it. So they were like, "Yo, dude, can you pass me that book though? Like on the DL? Like, can we?"
Oh, that was a moment.
That was one of the moments of all time for certain.
Nothing says brotherhood like gathering in a circle and reviewing each other's doujin.
You need to no, please stop. Not like this. Golly, I fucking hate this franchise. Anyway, moving on. When Zoro cut the slime the first time and it gassed it gassed Brooke, and then I think it was Zoro again. No, it was Brooke. Oh, fuck, I don't remember who it was. So, at some point, somebody like cut the slime again, and then Brooke goes like, "I thought that maybe you just didn't like you the first time, which is why I gassed you." Like I had to cut it again in case that was the reason it gassed us that time. It just didn't like you. And then when I just want to reiterate, I love this line when Sanji came up and goes like, "Hey, I thought I told you guys to deal with the slimes." And then Brooke and Zoro are picking their nose. They were like, "Well, we tried to fight it and it didn't work, so we just gave up."
I mean, really, what's left to do, honestly?
We've done nothing and we're all out of ideas, folks.
That's a great quote, by the way. That should be on a t-shirt somewhere.
It very much is. I can almost assure you that you can find that on a shirt somewhere. But all right. That's all the quotes. So moving on from that, we're going on to the golden ham. My voice cracked a little bit there, but it still doesn't detract from the fact that we're still going to celebrate the golden ham. What do you think, Justin? I feel like we have to be unanimous if we want to have a golden ham.
Very correct.
What are you feeling?
So, as I may have gone on the record in previous weeks, or maybe I kept this thought in my head and just haven't gotten a moment to, express myself here. My entire plan for the foreseeable future was to be a law-loving propagandist and just vote and nominate law every week. And I'm going to portray that this week because I believe
because I would not have done that with you. We would have gone to numbers.
No one would have, and it would have been awful. But I would still be the propaganda machine I intended to be. However, I think me and you tonight can gather and unanimously agree on Virgo for golden ham.
Say that again. Who for golden ham? I'm so sorry.
Virgo.
Ah,
I'm thinking, we spent a good chunk of time discussing this man. He's clearly had an impact on us, the audience.
Honestly, I kind of like this idea. I like this pick. This feels, you know what, Justin? I agree. This feels like a natural extension of my infatuation with the lint brush fruit. Thank you so much for bringing this thought into my brain. Yes, I agree. I think I think I want to vote for Virgo this week. Literally only because of how much time we spent fucking...
It was only right.
The only other alternative I had was Kinemon here because I really do like his Foxfire stuff. I'll give him a little bit of respect, but when a meme hits the table, like when a meme hits the table, you got to go for it, right? All right. Well, that's that's it.
Virgo is the winner of this week's Golden Ham.
Virgo wins. Do you mind writing it down? I'm away from my keyboard.
Yes.
You're the best, brother.
Moving on to fan mail this week. Thanks to Christian's oppression of me, we now have a backlog. So for anyone who's emailed us, I'm really bad at responding because in my head, I tell myself like, oh, they would just appreciate it if I just replied on cast, which I recognize is not ideal for some people who wish to feel that like they want to feel security, knowing like, oh, okay, they saw my email and they'll get to it when they get to it. So for anyone who's emailed us, we've got it. If probably not me, usually probably Jordy or Brendan have gone out of their way to reply to you. Thank you to them. Sorry, that's my bad. I'll work on that. Having said that, we have a backlog. We will probably blow through that backlog in a single episode, shortcoming, because that's just how I work. But for this week, we are reading from an email from our listener. I hope I pronounce this right. Jadin or Harin. I don't know. It's starts with a J, but here goes nothing. Hey guys, I'm Jarin, your friendly neighborhood Amazon delivery driver. That's when I listen. One Piece is my favorite series of all time, which lets you know how I found you guys. Although I should be caught up to the current episodes by now, or at least close, I took a hiatus from listening after you guys covered the second One Piece movie. It was such a long hiatus, about a year, that I went back and re-listened to it from the start, rewatching the episodes along with you guys. I just finished wrapping up Water 7 and Nenny's Lobby with you guys and listened to the first episode of Thriller Bark. By the way, Christian had me dying when he said it would take 200 episodes to get to Fishman Island, because I definitely thought we were going there immediately afterwards too. Also, my heart went out to Devin when he made the Mary bet, knowing full well she wasn't making it past this arc. To be honest, at the start, Devin was annoying me with all his nitpicking and valid criticisms. But I eventually grew accustomed to it and even agreed on some stuff, like the deaths. Oh, and Christian, I2MA Robinson, Brendan, Justin, stop spoiling things. Jordy, good job. Dylan, great job.
Hell?
Yeah, I don't know when you started spoiling stuff.
Yeah,
back then. I feel like recently you're getting a little loosey-goosey.
You think so? I don't feel like
that's
I've
been
telling
spoiling myself.
anything.
I don't know if that's copium or not. I just wanted someone else to go down the ship with me.
I think if there are actual truths that I have given, okay, well, this might be peering behind the curtain. There's like a 99% chance that if I cook, it's all bullshit. So you can rest assured. There's like a 3% chance that I bake it in a little bit of truth and honesty, but I try to come up with some bonkers shit because it's way more fun that way.
Sometimes you get lost in the sauce and you find the light of the truth.
Dude, I get lost in the sauce all the time. So, and in fact, it's better when I like re-listen to some of this dumb shit that I've come up with in the past, where I'm just like, wow, look the way my brain works sometimes. I really need to adjust the flow chart that is my mind.
Honestly, same. But continuing on here, I'm really enjoying rewatching it with you guys and picking up on things I didn't notice the first time around, mostly about devil fruits and hockey. Honestly, same. I surprisingly enjoyed Skypiea more than I remembered the first time. Also, same. As well as the Foxy arc. Straight gags, it was great. I'm really looking forward to hearing Christian and Devin's thoughts about the whole Summit War saga, my personal favorite, also same. What do you think about the Duval reveal? Did you love it or did Devin hate it? What do you think about Kami, Hachi coming back, Law and the other Supernovas intro, Rayleigh's intro, Kizaru's intro? I'm still watching clips of him slapping these Supernovas from time to time. Luffy punching Charlos. I'm so sorry, give me 1 second.
Oh, wait, we also
sorry. Where was I?
I honestly have no idea. You were talking about punching Charlos at one point.
Yes, punching Charlos. Kuma showing up again. Pacifistas. Amazon Lily. Hancock. I almost put Boa, like how most people say it, but that's her surname. It's like calling Luffy Monkey. Margaret, Mamungus, Impel Down, the return of past villains, Magellan, Jimbei, my man, same,
my boy Jimbei,
and just the entirety of my favorite arc, Marineford. I can't wait to revisit it again.
Hell,
I really enjoy listening to you guys talk about One Piece and all your different opinions. It's one of the many bright sides I tell myself before I go to work. I am curious of how you guys are tackling post time skip though. Anyways, I don't know if Justin is still complaining about emails or whatever, but here's a rather lengthy one. If I have more questions for you guys, I'll send them over if I remember, or if you have any questions for me, yeah, right. Thanks for
the
the
best
laughs.
part about that email is that you were literally not complaining, but you were giving like a grand statement before you started reading the email too. That's actually really funny.
Thanks for the laughs. Signed, Shido.
Yes,
Which is oddly topical considering you're not even caught up with us. This is some good timing.
This is really good timing. I actually do really like Caesar's stupid laughing tick. Like, I remember when I first watched through, I think watching one pace helps deal with some of the annoyingness that is Caesar Clown, because I feel like the anime outside of the cut down version or whatever, they use that laughing tick a lot. Like way more than they did anyone's laughing tick back in Thriller Bark. So I think being in one pace / my dub version of the same has helped to like cut out some of the like the white noise that is his laugh. So I can actually like, you know, fucking enjoy it again for the first time in forever. like with Foxy.
Nice.
But thank you, Jaren. That was a lovely email. We always get nice emails. I'm very happy about that. People are so nice. All right. Well, moving on. Any more fan mail, Justin? Is that
today.
Not for today. We got plenty of more. I did see that we got a lot of fan mail, but we're turning over a new leaf. We're giving some piece of fan mail per episode instead of just, you know, busting it all out in a single afternoon.
Much to my dismay, by the way. I want to go on record for that.
I kind of feel like it's a little bit better that way, because now we get something, you know, we give something fun and then we move on and we'll get something next week or whatever. For those that want, you know, immediate gratification, you know, you shouldn't be here anyway, because we'll never give that to you in the first place.
Don't worry, I'm your champion. I will fight for the right.
Listen, I'm a champion too. I just, you know, it's all bits, my guy. Moving on to Patreon shoutouts. Twigo, you're still our number one goon. We love you. We got Real Steel coming up on the Panda View. Look out for that. And next we've got the grab bag. Justin, I want to reach my hand in the bag. Can you hold it?
Okay. I'm holding. Please hold.
Did you notice anything about the bag?
Well, I haven't made any attempt to look at it because I'm afraid of what I might see.
Did you look inside the bag out of curiosity? You should at least look inside the bag.
I am averting my eyes. I'm actually just staring at you, all right? Or rather past you.
Look in the bag, Justin.
I don't want to look in the bag.
Look in the bag. Look in the bag.
No.
Do it, Justin. Look in the bag.
Please, don't make me.
So anyway, inside this bag that I'm reaching my hand into, I have here some sour fucking milk for you to drink. That's all spoiled. We can only know what the grab bag is if you drink this spoiled gallon of milk. I'm sorry, quarter gallon of milk. I'm not that much of an animal.
We could just end the podcast right here.
Nope, it's not going to happen. You need to drink this quarter gallon of spoiled milk in order for us to get to the grab bag item this week.
I don't like milk, and then you give me the worst form of it. What have I done?
Man, blame Jordy. I wouldn't have come here prepared with this if Jordy didn't tell me to come here with spoiled shit.
I'm literally crying and I haven't even started drinking yet.
Yes, my son. There you go. There you go. Yep. Take it, put it all down. You got it. Yeah, just like that. Just like nice. What does the jug say, Justin? What does it say down there?
It says haiku.
You did great, son. You did so good. I'm proud of you. All right, well, do you want to give your haiku first, or do you want me to give my haiku first?
I guess I'll go.
Go ahead, my guy.
Wow, this is a really bad thing I wrote, given the context of what just happened, but here we go.
Oh, no.
Purple and gooey. My best friend is a monster. His name is Smiley.
Oh, well, I mean, that's cute. It's kind of like a Barney kind of energy, you know what I mean? It's like a haiku about Barney, just, you know, a poison, you know, blob monster that will one day become the mascot for everything OSHA, you know? One day in the future. All right, my haiku is slime doots from on high. After Sanji grabbed torso, they read Brooks hentai.
That's good.
Yes. I was quite happy that I got something to rhyme at least for a change. but all right, that's my haiku.
We're done because it's only us.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to do. So I guess do you want to do the thingy, or do you want me to do the thingy? Because I'll happily do the thing. By all means, please.
Thank you for listening to us tonight. If you wish to reach out to us on social media, you can do so on Instagram and Twitter at Panda Sightings. Mostly Instagram. I feel like Twitter's a dying platform, but that's just me. If you wish to email us like some of our audience members tonight, you can do so at pandasightings@gmail.com. We have a lovely community Discord with some lovely, lovely people that I cannot not be more grateful for, running into in this lifetime. So shout out to all of you people. Go and join them. If you wish to financially support us, we have a link to our Patreon. You can find it on all of our social media platforms. Probably somewhere in our Discord. I don't know if that's true. And in the episode description on whatever platform you are on. But yeah, thank you for listening.
Incredible, my guy. Yeah, thank you for listening. So before we close out, thank you for drinking the milk, by the way. You're a champion.
You are so not welcome.
Do you want a spoiled apple to wash it down with?
You know what? I'm pretty sure I'm actually allergic to apples, so I don't know how that would go.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I don't actually know that, but the last time I ate an apple, I definitely got like a questionably itchy throat.
I mean, do you want to test it?
No. Are you sure? Okay. No.
I mean, this could be good. I mean, this could be like, for science.
Nothing you give me in any capacity.
Eat the fucking apple, Justin. Put the apple in your mouth. Eat the apple. There you go, buddy. Yes. Doesn't that taste good? Thank you. See, all you had to do is say yes. That's all you had to do, Justin. All right. Oh, wow. You are getting a little bit of hives out there. Yeah, look at that. I think you are allergic to apples. Well, hey, at least now you know for certain. So now I know you never have to ask or be like, hey, I think I'm allergic to apples. Isn't that right, bud?